Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Golf Business Live, powered by Supreme Golf. I am your host, Michael Williams, bringing you the best of the best of the best in all things golf, and especially golf operations, that thing which we love to do, and I love the fact that you do it. We have a great show here for you today, and with that, let's just jump right into it. One of the big challenges that we have in the industry right now is finding and retaining good people. How do you do that? And one of the biggest areas of challenge for that is agronomy, these outside services people, which are absolutely critical to the game, to having golf course facilities, excellent golf course facilities. We need excellent people. And a group that we have now for the show, a group that we have on the show now has taken the initiative to actually go to the source and train young people to be excellent outdoor services people. To talk more about that, please welcome to the show the Executive Director at the Michigan Golf Course Association, Jada Paisley, and the General Manager at Lynx Golf Club, Jim Szilagyi. Jim, Jada, welcome to Golf Business Live. How are you today?
Thank you, Michael. Great to be here.
It's great to be here too. Thanks for having us.
You are so welcome. And Jada, I'm going to start with you and this golf course maintenance apprenticeship program. Talk to me a little bit about what prompted you to do this. What were the circumstances and challenges that prompted you to create this program?
Well, I think the critical need prompted the program. Not unusual in Michigan. We have a shortage in our agronomy teams, and the superintendent role is a highly science-backed degree that is needed at our courses to keep them in top-notch conditions. And so we were becoming aware of the problem prior to 2020. The national source for turfgrass science students is not meeting the demand in Michigan. Although the program is increasing with their students, it's still a very critical need that our courses have. So we started to become aware of it and making our members aware, and then the opportunity was presented to us to consider. It's a United States Department of Labor registered apprenticeship. The golf course maintenance technician is a way that our board of directors at MGCA felt that we could grow our talent from within and address the immediate need while exposing another individual to the wonderful world of why to work in golf and the different career pathways. So although it addresses the critical need and the immediate need, the long-term goal is to create awareness about a different career option within golf.
And I want to ask you one more question about the creation of the program, then I'm going to come to you, Jim, to talk about implementation a little bit. Jada, the term apprenticeship can mean a lot of different things depending on the industry, the profession, that sort of thing. So in the context of this program, what does apprentice mean? And that is, does it cost something to join? Are you paid to do this? Do you get educational credits? And who exactly is eligible to join?
So think about it from electricians and a plumber standpoint. This person is going to be a journey worker at the end of it. And it's a U.S. registered apprenticeship. And I have learned that throughout my last year of working with the U.S. DOL and the Michigan Department of Labor. It's a registered apprenticeship. They are going to get a national occupation credential at the end of it. On-the-job learning, which is where the mentor at the course that is deemed proficient in the task shows that apprentice, and that apprentice could be either a current employee or, in Jim's case, he's using it as recruiting. And the apprentice is shown how to do the task, and then they show their mentor how they're going to do the task. And then the mentor gets to say, okay, you're now proficient in this task. And so in compiling this with the U.S. Department of Labor and the Michigan Department of Labor, they really have to have certain competencies and a certain amount of related instruction. And we, too, as the sponsor and intermediary, in effect, we're the federal contractor. We're the go-between with Jim and the U.S. Department of Labor, because we knew that this was a way to be a turnkey approach for our members. There's a lot of different steps. And so to be able to provide them the opportunity and have it in a package to help our members is why MGCA and the board of directors unanimously approved it.
Well, I can actually feel I'm getting a nervous rash just thinking about the amount of paperwork that you had to do to get this done. So I admire your heroism as far as that's concerned, to push these things through a state and a federal organization. I know that's no easy road to hoe. Congratulations on that. And Jim, I'll turn to you. I assume you've had some practical applications with this, with people working in the apprenticeship program. Talk to me about how you went about onboarding these folks and how they're working out for you.
Well, Michael, I had that same rash experience that you mentioned earlier. But the big thing, and why I think the Michigan Golf Course Association has been so good over the years is there's been an extensive amount of leadership provided, not to the national, but also within our state, and we're looked upon quite highly. And this is just another initiative, I think, that hopefully that it's going to help people get into the game, into the business of the game sooner and stay with it. As Jada mentioned, there's, and as I'm sure Michael, that that's less people, or it's a high burden to get into the business. But once you're in, you want to keep people and train them properly to get the kind of experience, and we're primarily a public course a business, throughout the country, and we have the hardest time sometimes finding competent and qualified help. But when you get into the business like you've been, it doesn't take a lot, but it takes effort and initiative, and so what we're trying to provide with this apprenticeship program is giving people that opportunity. I don't care, my family's been in the business for a lot of years, 90 plus, and when you talk about getting in the game or getting into the business of the game, pick up a shovel, as far as the turf program is concerned, pick up a shovel, because that's what you're going to be using a lot of times, and there's a great amount of satisfaction, manicuring 160 acre plus or whatever the acreage is of your golf course. And there's a great amount of satisfaction that can be derived from that. And it's a great career. It's something that, you've embraced, I've embraced, and it's something that, we love to do. And so why not teach, which this apprenticeship program is a teaching opportunity, and you don't have to go to a 4-year school to get this experience. You can get a great experience, if you're committed to it in a year. So what the program, as I see it, is it gives someone, as I've told some of the apprentice candidates that we brought on, you stick with me for a year, you do this program, you're going to come out a better person at the end. You're going to have some great experience in that you're going to be able to take to, hopefully you're going to stay with me, but then you're going to be able to maybe take this to a bigger and better job, and you're going to grow in your career, and you're not going to have to go to a 4-year school to do it.
I think that's awesome, the things that you just said, and talking about people getting trained in one place, and maybe they move on to another facility, but keeping good people within the industry is what we want to do. Grow people and circle around. And circulate, throughout the entire industry, and spread that knowledge and experience, and perhaps even recruit new people on their own. Jim started talking about the time it takes to do it. I think he alluded to a year. Talk to me a little bit about the program in terms of the curriculum for it. What does that look like? And is it something that you do in addition to maybe a university education or PGM education, or instead of, kind of a combination of the two? What's that look like?
So this apprenticeship is designed with all online education through the Golf Course Superintendents Association of America. So we worked with them and Adam Ikamis because when you hold the standards as a which we hold the standards as MGCA. We needed to make it accessible for all of our 800 plus courses. So that meant we needed to make it accessible in the UP down to, the border and Tecumseh, Michigan, and so online was the way to do that. Another skill set that they will need is their certified pesticide applicator license. And so the beauty of the registered apprenticeship is it is on the job learning, but they do need to complete that online education as well for this particular apprenticeship. And so our Michigan Golf Alliance was on board when we said what we wanted to do, and we involved them in the process. And actually the competencies were developed in partnership with Michigan Turfgrass Foundation, and then worked with Michigan Golf Course Superintendents Association, and then GCSAA overall. So a real combined effort. Yes, there's a lot of paperwork. There was a lot of collaboration along with that paperwork as well to push it forward as quickly as we have. And so yes, they will have to, now in the scope of that apprenticeship, it's flexible for the employer. So although it is a registered apprenticeship and there are certain requirements, Jim or anybody else that has an apprentice come on, depending on the time of the year, has the flexibility to start those competencies where it's best for the employer at the course, right. So it's not as though it has to happen in a certain fashion. They all have to happen. But once the framework is set, the flexibility is there for the employer and for the apprentice. It's also a competency-based, which is a little bit different. So it'll take somebody probably about a year, and it is not meant to take the place of a superintendent. It's meant to help them with their additional needs that have just been compounded since 2020.
And Jada, I'll come back to you with one more question, and then we'll come to you, Jim, for some of the more practical facts. Jada, how long has the program been in existence, and how many people have we seen come through the program to date?
So it was registered back in June, and Jim was the first employer to sign on to commit to an apprenticeship.
So that's June of 2022.
Yeah, in 2022. So we decided in February we were going to pursue this. And fast forward to June, we were able to have it meet the standards that the USDOL required and sign on. That's a really busy time in Michigan for golf. And so we knew that we would ramp up our efforts. We had a wonderful panel discussion at our Michigan Golf Business Conference, and we've been doing marketing. And to date, March, we have a total of 8 courses that have committed and 9 apprentices that are just getting ready to go. And we've got more in the pool that are going to be signing on too. So in a very short time, we've been able to make an impact like that. And it's really exciting for us to see that, because Michigan's so unique with their public courses. We're the highest in the country. And, it is very different. And therefore, our labor needs need to be different too. And so to be able to help in such a quick way our members is what we're here to do.
I get that, absolutely. And I like the number of leagues that you have. I think Michigan still has more leagues than any other state operating. I know that used to be the case, and I see you nodding your head, that's still the case. For a golf course owner or operator to get involved with the program, describe what the process is like if you'd like to be a part of this. How does it work, in a practical way?
Well, is that for me?
Yeah, that's for you, Jim. Go ahead.
Yeah. There is a little bit of paperwork that you have to fill out, any kind of a certification program, which, is pretty much understood. And I must say it's really not that difficult the way we've set it up in the state with Jada's office. spearheading and processing it with the Department of Labor and with the Michigan Department of Labor. It really is. We've streamlined it very, very much for an operator like myself to fill out some initial paperwork. The big thing that we have to do is we've got to bring candidates, and what I've learned in a short time is, we really have to, it isn't something you can really just make sure that they're committed to the program. And it's almost like a recruitment. You're not, unlike a college football coach, recruiting people to your team, and you want them to buy in and to be part of the program and realize, that's, like you said, I talk in terms of year. It could take 2 years to complete this apprenticeship program, depends upon it. But, we want them to know that there's more than, it's more than just showing up, although showing up is very important. But there is some practical things that have to be done. And I think that's the biggest role that I have got to fill, is I've got to be engaged in this from the standpoint of talking to them, listening to them, seeing what they tell me, what you've learned, what you learned new today or this week, and how you doing, staying with them, because the program's not going to be successful if you just, put it all on the candidate, because a lot of the times, these kids they're young, and they don't interact well, just on a basis. You got to encourage them to go over that little speed bump that they may encounter on the job. And you just gotta, you don't only do this with apprentices, you gotta do this with all your employees. So I think it's really important that you participate. That's your participation in the program. The program's been set up, like Jada mentioned. We've had great help with our Michigan Turfgrass, our Michigan superintendents, the National Golf Course Superintendents. Association has all this online. It's what we've done is we brought this all together in a package that's, what I do best with is bullet points and checklists, and that's what this program has.
Outstanding. And I love the idea, from the things you last said, I love the idea of all the partnerships that go into making this
Right.
together. I love the idea of all that collaboration and the outcome being something great. I also like the idea of, like, you and Harbaugh out there, like, recruiting for Michigan.
I want to take some of those athletes on my team.
I hear you. Hail victors. I got it. So, Jade, I'll come back to you if you wanted to comment on the practical process too of what it takes for golf course owners to get involved, how long that takes, or any specific things that they need to prepare for that. And then I want to ask you too. Well, I'll let you answer that question, and then I'll ask you a closing question of both of you.
Sure.
The onboarding process.
Yeah, the onboarding process is just really attending an info session, which we have a recording. And we've developed a frequently asked question page that answers a lot of questions. And then after somebody watches that info session, we generally will answer additional questions. And then it's just a matter of them getting together what they need to. As Jim said, there's not too much, there is a little. And then they're good to go after we get them entered in and approved by our checks and balances. But we have it pretty streamlined already, and lots of, like Jim said, bullet points and checklists on our end too, to make sure everybody is entered the right way. The neat thing is that our state, there's an app now that superintendents are going to be able to use to be able to manage their apprentices' competencies and their registered training. And so that was a really important thing for us to have for somebody that's not going to be at their desk for most of their job, right? And so the apprentice will have it, the mentor will have it, and then we have a dashboard back here too, since we're the intermediary, to see how everybody's doing with their competencies and registered training. So it's going to be an exciting year.
Well, I dare say it's going to be an exciting year. And as we close, just have one more question I wanted to bring out to you, because you've got this innovation, you've just got this ball rolling, and are looking to make sure that it continues and progresses and grows and thrives and all of that. Having said that, you've proven yourselves to be innovators. So are you already looking to expand this to other areas of golf course employment, say general manager apprenticeships, that sort of thing? I'll start with you, Jada, and then Jim, I'll let you close. Mm-hmm. Jada.
Well, are we looking to expand? I think there's a lot of opportunity. There's also not a lot of time resources. So we really want to make sure that this is going really, really well before we make the choice to pursue any additional resource, any additional registered apprenticeships.
Right. That makes sense, Jim. I know, again, people and resources, of course, are limited, but given the success of this, I mean, could you see something like that where we have like more apprenticeships for more areas of operations?
There's a need for it. Yes. I mean, there is a definite need for it, and I see it. There's a lot of opportunity there to expand. There's a lot of different diverse talent pools within Michigan. One of which I can speak to. Our board just approved last week to there's a Michigan Career and Technical Institute. It's not too far away from Jim Szilagyi, and they're a vocational training place, and so we're gonna be pursuing and offering input on a program that they have as a potential resource as they place people in their 83 counties. So yeah, there's definitely more to come.
Mm-hmm. And Jim, I'll let you'll have the last word on that too. Your thoughts on the success of this program and the possibilities for expansion/addition.
Well, I hope you don't know some inside scoop. Jada's trying to replace me just yet, Michael, but I think that there certainly is another other opportunities within the the business. When you think about it, we've got this outside component, or we have the golf component, and I think there's a lot of the PGM schools for golf professionals that are long established and are kind of the same thing with the turf schools. And there's a middle ground there that could be filled by an apprenticeship program, our own apprenticeship program, because golf course operations isn't just a swinging a golf club, and so there's many more facets to that. And then you got the food and beverage side, which is also dependent upon the club, and there's an opportunity that for event planning, because many golf courses, and particularly bigger resorts, have got opportunities for training in that manner. So I would hope that that we continue along those lines and get that we've got to get this one down and do it right, and which I'm sure we will, and just take it from there. I think it's always be training, always be hiring, always be teaching is going to be the success of our business, and it's going to help us grow.
I think I just detected a Glengarry Glen Ross fan over there. I'm not sure, but I think so.
Yeah. Always be selling.
I see.
You must have been a salesman, Michael.
I see what you did there. Beautiful. Yes, I was. Guys, thanks so much for this. I mean, it's just fascinating to see what you've done, and the fact that you've taken an idea and from sort of idea to conception to reality. It's really a boon to the industry. And I know that I myself and all of your colleagues are going to be watching with great interest in how this thrives. And once you achieve that success that you want to, we're going to repeat it all over the place. We'll be coming to you for advice. So again, thank you so much for spending the time. It's first time, but I'm sure it won't be the last time we talk about this and other programs you have going on.
Great. Thank you, Michael.
For having us.
You're so welcome. Thank you. That's Jada Paisley and Jim Szilagyi. Look, we call this program Golf Business Live, but really what we all know is when you get into this business, really it's a kind of a golf business life, isn't it? You find your role that you want to fulfill within this industry, whether it's journalism, whether it's outside services, whether it's food and beverage. There's so many ways, teaching, manage. There's so many ways to make your mark for your life, live a real golf business life. And the fact that this program is bringing people into the game early and building a love of the game and an ability to improve it and participate in it, I think is a really special thing. And I just applaud anyone who's doing something like that. So again, kudos to them and look forward to hearing more about it. We're going to take a quick break right now. When we come back, it'll be, drum roll, house chat, one of my favorite things. So please go get yourself a cold beverage and a salty, crunchy snack, and we'll be right back. Michael Williams, Golf Business Live, powered by Supreme Golf. See you in a minute.
Supreme Golf is proud to be an executive partner of the NGCOA. And whether you're looking to drive recurring revenue with our market-leading public membership software or sell additional tee times on Barstool Golf Time and Supreme Golf at no cost and where you control the data and the pricing, please reach out.
Welcome back to Golf Business Live, powered by Supreme Golf. Your host, Michael Williams, still here. And this segment, House Chat, this is going to be a good one because it has something to do with a product that has grown into an industry. And I love it to see when a product grows into an industry, and this definitely has. And we're talking about golf simulators. I remember 5 years ago going over to South Korea and playing a lot of simulator golf there. We play a lot of golf outdoors, play a lot of indoor golf too. And I got some information at that time that said that at that time, South Korea was doing more indoor rounds in that country of South Korea than we were doing outdoor rounds in all of the United States of America. That blew me away then, and it blows me away now. And the thing is that thing is coming to America, as the movie title once said, and it's coming in a big way. Joining us on this episode to talk about this and give us a little inside look into this phenomenon and how it can affect your life and business is someone who knows more about it than almost anyone out there. He is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for About Golf. Please welcome Ken Reynolds to House Chat. Ken, welcome. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing well, Michael. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
It's my pleasure, friend. And you are the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at About Golf, which to me is about like being the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Apple in 1990. It's a pretty good place to be. Okay, here at Springboard of something really, really special here. So let's just talk in general about it, because I characterize this as a product that's turned into an industry. I just want to know how would you describe golf simulators? Does that cover a wide range of things? What is the golf simulator business as it's currently constituted?
So the golf simulator business, the way that About Golf looks at it is, it's ultimately split into two worlds: the residential and the commercial. On the residential end, we are the toy makers. We're providing the golf course at the home. It's something that About Golf has done since the late 90s, early 2000s. That market continues to grow where, so many people are getting exposed to it. They're seeing the different types of uses that the golf simulators can provide. Along with the accuracy, along with the foundation of what we, put into the home. And that is the authenticity of being able to play golf, have some fun with the family on golf games and driving range and work on your game. But it also brings it to the next level where it is a multi-use room as well. COVID was a big explosion on that, where many people couldn't get out. So they were expanding the homes, they were doing renovations. And what they were seeing, the capabilities of golf simulators was, wow, we can use this as a theater. We can roll the Peloton in. We can, do flight simulation, driving simulation. Our company, we focus on the core. We are an end-to-end solution. So we will work with the homeowners from start to finish and beyond to customize it within the home. It's not just kind of a freestanding structure, but we'll build it in. So we always started in the basement to kind of, be in the man cave. We're really seeing ourselves up on the first and second floor. It's now a central point of the home. On the commercial end, it's a different animal. It's still an amazing experience, but it's a revenue generator. It's a way for country clubs to keep their members in, keep them engaged, extend the season, make it a year-round facility. And then for standalone businesses that we call indoor golf centers, that's a market that's growing as well. That's always been popular, but it's really growing where you have an independent business where they might have 5 to 10 golf simulators, food and beverage operation, club fitting, lessons and whatnot. So we look at it differently. On the residential end, we are that white glove luxury experience. On the commercial end, we are a partner. We're essentially a back-end business partner helping their business succeed. And it goes beyond the golf simulator. Things that we also really do pay attention to is what does the golf center owner, what does the country club need from online tee times and reservations and easy access to the simulators. So we work with them with, beyond just the simulator bays, but we give them the tools they need to succeed. So it's a very unique industry, no doubt.
No doubt. And I love how you characterize the two lanes, if you will, of the business between the residential and the commercial. And I had some statistics in front of me that says the golf simulator market size is projected to reach $3.3 billion by 2030, growth of 10% a year. I presume that it's the commercial side that's going to drive that kind of growth, correct?
It is. The residential is growing. It's one thing that's always it's always been there. It's been a big focus of ours. But what our team is really focusing on is the commercial division, because if we can satisfy the commercial operator and also the commercial operator's customer, we have filled all the buckets that we need to. And then our customization team will work on the residential end. But when I got started in this industry, I actually got started as a customer for aboutGOLF. I had an indoor golf center with 5 simulators and a bar and grill in upstate New York, and just kind of stumbled upon this idea of saying, hey, let's make a year-round country club, a year-round golf course where people could play. And I never thought I'd still be sitting here, and I really never thought I'd be on board, but I just watched and was part of this industry growing. But the industry was really smaller centers, 2 to 4 simulators. Now we're seeing golf centers at 8 to 15 simulators and beyond. So the centers are getting bigger. The demand is there. People are accepting this as not a replacement, but an alternative. It's a great way to be playing. We never want to replace the green grass experience. You never will. But this is a great alternative that goes alongside it, that you can, if you don't have the 4 hours, even if it's in the summer, but in the wintertime, up in the Northeast where I am and in the northern climates, you now can play year round. In the southern climates, it's opposite. If it's too hot, you now have a way to keep playing.
And let's talk a little bit about the features that drive the market. You obviously have competition out there. What are some of the basics that you want to provide to a commercial operation that's looking for a simulator, and what sets aboutGOLF apart in those features that it offers above and beyond that which is expected or essential?
Absolutely. There's some amazing products that are out there. A lot of the things that aboutGOLF focuses on is we are 100% indoors. We're not a hybrid. We're not giving you the option to bring technology in and out. They're 2 different worlds. So the indoor world, we want to provide as authentic of an experience with accuracy, with course replication, with driving range, with integrated tools. So we really do focus on the indoor world. All of our technology is tucked up out of the way. We are a high-speed camera-based system. We've been really focusing with machine vision since the early 2000s. And a lot of the stuff that we really want to focus on is the 9 and 18 foundation of golf will always be there, being able to play 9 or 18 holes. But now you have ways to come in with a foursome and have an amazing experience with doing alternative games where you are seeing your accuracy. It might be some contests, some challenges, some unique games that allow you to compete, work on your game. That way, we have an open palette. Our production team and our development team have an open palette to really create unique content where if you don't have the 4 hours with a foursome, you can come in for an hour. You can come in for 2 hours. If it's a golf center, have a beer and something to eat and play a contest, play a game. You'll still see your golf game, but just in a whole new way. We really do live by the mantra of golf your way. And that's what we want people to do. If you want to come in and play 18, great. But if you want to come in and play darts or beer pong or whatever it might be, enjoy it.
Wow. One of the things I've always wanted to do is, you've seen in simulators, the idea where you can play some of the signature golf courses in the world, Pebble Beach and so forth. If you want to take a look at it and hit those shots on those iconic holes that you see. One of the things that I haven't seen I would like to do is to be able to put together my own top 18, just to take 18 holes from that you pick and choose and put together a golf course from those golf. Is that something you can do as well?
You can kind of customize the holes that you play within, your selections. So if you don't want to play 18 select holes, you can customize that to a certain point. You can also customize the great thing, and it's really how my kids learned how to play, was you can customize the courses themselves. So if you want to play Pebble Beach, back when we started, my son would have to play the fronts and I'd play the tips, and we'd just kind of chase each other around. Now you can customize it to say, all right, let's play Pebble Beach from 100 yards. So every hole will be on an average of around 100 yards. So you can play together. So I'd be working on my short game. He'd be working on his full game. And then as he got older, we kind of moved those tee boxes back. So you can really do some unique, alterations to the game to fit your needs.
And you realize that as you both get older, that relationship is going to switch, and you'll be playing from 100 and he'll be playing from the back.
He's 17 years old, and I think next year is the year. So I'm ready for the transition.
We know how that works. Father Time being undefeated and all that. I love the idea of creating these revenue streams though for golf course owners and operators. And can you give some success stories for how people have worked this in? Because we talk about the hypothetical of putting things in and replacing rounds and in the off season, that sort of thing. Maybe a success story that gives some practical example of how people have really worked this in and made it a meaningful part of their revenue base.
Yep, that's one of the biggest things that we do, focus on, is how we can help grow your business. And with the country clubs, with the golf courses, back in the early 2000s, it was a tough conversation because, simulators were thought of as a video game. Now they're being accepted, and they're being accepted on all levels. We have a ton of case studies to talk about that we can elaborate on. But we have many golf courses, some of the ones being in the Northeast, many golf courses that are now year round, where they were normally, they were shut down in the fall, and then they wouldn't open up in this, until the spring. So, up in the Pacific Northwest, we have Hayden Lake Country Club we have a great case study on our website about, they've built their own new building, and it's busy all year round. So they have their barn where they have a couple simulators. Initially what it was golf courses were giving it a shot and saying, all right, well, let's put it in a kind of an empty ballroom for the winter and see how it goes. Now they're incorporating this with the renovations. So it used to be one simulator. Now country clubs are seeing that, we can really do, damage or success with 2, 3, 4 simulators involved. The added revenue streams that country clubs are seeing from food and beverage, from golf lessons, from golf equipment sales, to keeping their loyal staff on board year round. And that's always the toughest thing right now is the labor force and trying to find the right people. They now have the luxury to keep it year round. We have a local golf course that's here. They have 5 simulators. They're a real small par 3 course, very popular central to town. Their business model used to be, we are a little par 3 course with a little bit of food and beverage. Now they are food, beverage, golf simulators, and then the golf course. So It's the models are changing. You just have to be kind of ready for it, because it's a completely different type of business practice when you bring the simulators in. But it's one that has been proven time and time again of, success stories. And things that we do are on our end is we do a lot of consulting. We have our team is extremely well versed in the industry of being able to give advice, show examples, introduce them to the right, comparable businesses that are out there. And then we are also, as I said in the beginning, is that we are an end-to-end solution. So we're not really farming out anything that we do. Everything is done under one roof. We produce all of our own simulator hardwares or the shells, all of our tracking technology, all of our performance tools, all of our courses, everything that we do is homegrown. So, you're working with one team. You're not having to work with multiple. So we're there, before, during, and after the installation to help out.
I'm going to go back to the distinction that you made at the beginning as we close out here when you talked about the home versus a commercial. And for any home, I think it's fair to say that would be kind of a luxury amenity for a home. But we're talking about now having this be almost a business essential, going forward as golf courses understand that this can generate this type of revenue. Given that fact, I don't generally like to talk about price for products because I know every situation is different. There's going to be a lot of customization. It depends on setup and that sort of thing. Having said that, what are we talking sort of to sort of get your feet wet in this business? And how do generally people finance this? Do you provide financing? Do you connect people with that sort of thing? If we can talk a little bit of numbers, it'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. We have some packages that will allow you to, kind of start out within the low 30s. We also on a do it yourself type of product, you can do it in the 20s. For a commercial facility, you're going to probably see our most popular price point will be in the high 40s, low 50s. So that's a turnkey where we come in, you give us an empty space, we'll come in and fill it. Our team will handle the installation, the training, everything. And then if you want to have some premier suites, so we have as most people are familiar with, are the flat screen models. And as I said, I was hoping to be, in my showroom to show you our curve environment. So our curve environment is our immersive screen system that, the image and the world wraps around you. So wow. We'll have some facilities that might say, we're going to do 5 flat screens, which is our traditional, which most people are familiar with. And then they might do 1 or 2 of having them as a premium suite, which that will get you up into, into the 60,000 range. But what we do is we help build that business model with you to say, all right, what's going to be the return on your investment? If you do bring in a couple of these higher end models, don't be ready to charge a little bit more, but also provide a little bit more and really, provide a unique experience within there. So you can start within I'd say in the low 30s. Most average will be in the 50 range. And then if you really want to have some fun with it, you can get up into the 60, 70, 80, 90. You can just keep going. So the nice thing is that you can also add as you go. So it's not that you have to really pick off the menu everything you want now. It's you can get in, test the waters with your clientele to say, all right, how are they going to use it? Is it game improvement? Is it courses? Is it games? Is it, multimedia? And then you can kind of add as you go along throughout the years.
Yeah. And as with any sort of amenity like that, with any business that we add to the operation, I think the real key number is how quickly can you recoup that investment and then get into a profit situation. And I'm sensing from others that I've talked to, and I'm sensing from what you're saying that's a pretty quick turnaround in recouping that initial investment and getting yourself into the plus side.
Yep. We usually say with a successful business, one that's set up properly, your simulators between a gross and net will have a payout of around about 1.5 years. Some of them are a year. So what we like to see is an average of around, 1,200 hours a year of usage, and we have facilities that are up at 2,000. We have facilities that are, float at around the 1,100 hour, per simulator. So with that, you can kind of gauge as to what you can expect the return to be. So, but it is pretty cool.
Excellent. Sounds good to me. Look, I think it's a spectacular business. As I say, you talk about a growth business to be in. This certainly is one. I have had the chance to experience the simulator, not the curved one though. So maybe I can take a visit out to your headquarters or somewhere and take a look at that immersive experience. I'm all about it. Okay, Ken.
It is amazing. It's definitely unique.
Fantastic. Let's set that up. Ken, thanks so much for taking the time. And as you grow, as you change, have more product offerings, you have more news for us. You'll always have a soapbox stand on and a megaphone to shout into here at GBL. So look forward to having you back real soon. Michael,
I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
You got it, my friend. That is Ken Reynolds, the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at aboutGOLF. Again, I'm still just amazed at how this whole business has grown and will continue to grow as we see more recreational golfers and more people redefining what they think of as golf. They have redefined what they think about it out there, the customers. So we have to redefine how we think about it too and make those products available that they have expressed a demand for. Seems like pretty simple math, doesn't it? That is all for this episode of Golf Business Live. It's been a pleasure as always. I want to thank our guests. I want to thank our producers, Harry Morrell and Taylor Wall, for all the work they do to make this thing happen. We'll be back again soon with another great show. Thank you, of course, for watching and listening. So for all of our friends at NGCOA, I'm Michael Williams, wishing you a happy golf day. We'll see you soon. Bye now.